Welcome back to Open Window Politics. Today we're going to be doing a prediction between Pete Buttigieg on the Democratic side versus J.D. Vance on the Republican side. So Pete Buttigieg rose to fame in 2020. He ran for the Democratic nomination for the presidency that year, and ultimately he dropped out and ended up endorsing Biden. Later on, Biden nominated him to be the Secretary of Transportation. He passed his confirmation vote, and he served as the Secretary of Transportation during the Biden term for those 4 years. And then J.D. Vance, on the other side of the aisle, is a former author, largely regarded from Hillbilly Elegy, and then a former senator from the state of Ohio. He was later picked as Trump's running mate for 2024, and he is now the vice president because, of course, Trump won. So we'll be doing a hypothetical election prediction between these two. I will go through each of these swing states as well as the swing district there in Nebraska. So I'll start out with Nevada. In Nevada, I think that this will be one of the easier, if not the easiest state for Democrats to win back as far as states they lost in 2024 on the presidential level. And they lost every swing state except for the swing district in Omaha, but we'll get to that one later. But as far as Nevada goes, I think this will be a fairly easy one for Democrats to pick up. And then Arizona, I think, is going to be an interesting story. I am kind of torn. This one could go either way. I think in previous predictions, I've had it into the tilt blue margin. In 2024, the state went to Trump by a lean red margin. Quite a lot has changed in the national polling and national appetite for the various political parties. So I'm going to put the state of Arizona also in the tilt blue column. Then we'll get to the state of Georgia, the other half of the Sun Belt. In Georgia, Democrats have seen some great election results in the state since 2024. Harris, of course, did win Georgia, like I mentioned before, along with every other swing state. But Democrats have seen positive momentum in the state of Georgia and are optimistic about, first of all, the Senate election that's going to go on in this November in 2026, and then, of course, in 2028 for the presidential general election. And then for North Carolina, I'm going to put that in J.D. Vance's column. I don't think this would be the election where Democrats are able to win back North Carolina on the presidential level. Hasn't happened since 2008, and that was an amazing year for Democrats. They did quite well, and right now is a good environment for Democrats at the national landscape, but I would argue not quite as good as 2008, so that is going to be the state of North Carolina. And then for the three Rust Belt states that will really determine the presidency, I forgot to get to the district here in Omaha. This one I'm going to put into the lean blue margin. This district even went to Harris. Like I mentioned, it was really the only competitive race that she won, and the district was one more electoral college vote for her. In Nebraska, they have a bit of an interesting system where they split some of their political or electoral college votes by congressional district, along with Maine being the other state. But they, like I said, have an interesting way of doing it, and I think Pete Buttigieg would probably do quite well in a district like this in the Omaha region. Pete Buttigieg has appeared on Fox News on a couple of occasions and has certainly been playing for the middle of the political spectrum, and I think that would do well throughout the swing states, but especially in the swing district there in Nebraska. So that is a lot of talk for one electoral college vote. Not a huge deal, but it could mean the difference. I think of the three Rust Belt states, I think Pennsylvania is probably J.D. Vance's best hope. I don't think any of these three are going to end up in the Republican Party's column, but I think if one of them were, it would probably be Pennsylvania, then Michigan, and then Wisconsin as far as most likely to end up in the Republican Party's column to least. So that is going to leave us with 303 electoral college votes for Pete Buttigieg to 235 for the Republican J.D. Vance. Don't forget to like and subscribe.